Imagine you check into a hotel. You turn on the tap. The water comes out dark. It smells strange. You've been drinking it for days. Now imagine learning that above your room, on the rooftop, inside a sealed water tank, was a decomposing body. This is not fiction. This happened. And the person inside that tank was a 21-year-old student named Elisa Lam. Who was she? How did she end up there? And what was she doing in that elevator video that made the entire internet go silent? Stay with me, because this story gets darker the deeper we go. Welcome back to Dark Files, the channel that pulls back the curtain on the world's most disturbing unsolved mysteries, bizarre crimes, and cases that haunt us long after the files are closed. If you are new here, welcome. You walked into the right room. But fair warning, once you start watching Dark Files, you can't stop. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell so you never miss a case. Because tonight's file? It's one of the most chilling, most debated, most haunting cases in modern true crime history. Tonight, we open the Elisa Lam file. Before we talk about what happened inside that elevator, before we talk about the water tank on the rooftop, let's talk about who Elisa Lam actually was. Because she wasn't just a case file, she was a person. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old Canadian student of Chinese descent, born on April 30th, 1991, in Vancouver, British Columbia. She was attending the University of British Columbia, and by all accounts, she was a bright, creative, deeply curious young woman. She ran a personal Tumblr blog where she posted about books she loved, movies she was watching, and the thoughts swirling around in her head. She was thoughtful, she was reflective, and she had big dreams, but Elisa also struggled. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was managing it with medication, including antidepressants. For anyone who lives with mental illness, traveling alone can be both an act of courage and a source of vulnerability. In January 2013, Elisa decided to embark on a solo trip down the west coast of the United States, starting in San Diego and working her way up to Los Angeles. She called it her West Coast tour. Doesn't that sound like something any adventurous 21-year-old might do? A solo trip, exploring a new country, soaking in the experience? She arrived in Los Angeles and checked into a hotel in the heart of downtown, the Cecil Hotel, and that decision would change everything. Now here's something that most people don't fully appreciate when they first hear about this case. The Cecil Hotel is not your ordinary hotel. Built in 1924 in downtown Los Angeles, the Cecil Hotel was originally designed as an elegant destination for business travelers. But over the decades, it transformed into something far more sinister. Located near Skid Row, one of the most impoverished and crime-ridden districts in America, the Cecil became a magnet for tragedy. Over the years, it became the site of numerous suicides, murders, and unexplained deaths. So many, in fact, that locals nicknamed it the Hotel Death. Perhaps most infamously, serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, lived at the Cecil Hotel during his murder spree in 1985. He would reportedly return to the hotel after his killings, drop his blood-soaked clothes in the trash, and go to sleep. Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger also stayed at the Cecil in 1991, where he is believed to have murdered 3 women during his time in Los Angeles. So knowing this, knowing the history of this building, how do you feel about the fact that a 21-year-old woman with bipolar disorder checked in here alone? Elisa checked in on January 26, 2013. She was originally booked in a shared dorm-style room, but her roommates requested she be moved, reportedly because of her behavior, which they described as odd and erratic. She was moved to a private room. That was January 26th. By January 31st, she had vanished. Elisa had been in regular contact with her parents back in Vancouver throughout her trip. They knew her schedule. They expected her calls. But on January 31st, 2013, calls stopped. Her parents, deeply worried, contacted the Los Angeles Police Department and reported her missing. The LAPD launched a search. Officers canvassed the hotel. They checked her room. They searched the building. They found nothing. Days passed, then weeks. Elisa Lam had seemingly disappeared into thin air, inside a hotel full of people. How does a person vanish without a trace from a building full of guests and staff? That's what the LAPD was asking too. On February 14, 2013, Valentine's Day, the LAPD made a decision that would shake the internet to its core. They released the hotel's elevator surveillance footage and asked the public for help identifying any clues. What followed was one of the most watched, most analyzed, most debated pieces of footage in internet history. The video is grainy, black and white. Security camera footage, the kind you've seen 1,000 times before. But what's in it is unlike anything you've seen. Elisa Lam enters the elevator. She presses multiple buttons, not just one floor, but several. The doors don't close. She steps out into the hallway. She looks left. She looks right. Then she steps back in. She presses the buttons again. Still, the doors don't close. And then, this is the part that made the world hold its breath. She steps outside the elevator again and appears to be talking, moving her hands in strange, flowing gestures, looking at something or someone in the hallway that the camera cannot capture. She steps back in. The doors finally close. She's gone. Who or what was she interacting with? Was she hiding from someone? Was she experiencing a mental health episode? Or was there someone in that hallway the camera couldn't see? The footage was posted online and spread across the world within hours. Millions of people watched it. Reddit lit up. YouTube was flooded with analysis videos. People slowed it down frame by frame. They enhanced the pixels. They analyzed every twitch and every movement. Some said she was clearly experiencing a psychotic episode, consistent with her bipolar disorder. Others pointed to the elevator doors. Normally, if someone stands in the doorway, sensors prevent the doors from closing. But in this footage, the doors don't close at all, even when Elisa is clearly not blocking them. This led some to speculate the elevator had been put into hold mode, a function that requires a key card, suggesting someone with hotel access may have been involved. Others went deeper into conspiracy territory, supernatural theories, shadow figures, unexplained forces. The Cecil Hotel's reputation only fueled these ideas. But the truth, the factual, documented truth, was still hiding, literally. While police continued their investigation and the internet obsessed over the footage, hotel guests began noticing something wrong. The water. Guests started complaining. The water pressure was low. The water tasted strange. Some noticed the color was off, darker than usual. It had an odd smell. People had been drinking this water, brushing their teeth with it, showering in it. Are you thinking what they eventually found? Because even knowing what's coming, it doesn't make it any less horrifying. On February 19, 2013, 19 days after Elisa vanished, hotel maintenance worker Santiago Lopez was sent to inspect the 4 large water tanks located on the rooftop of the Cecil Hotel. The tanks were industrial. Each one was large enough to hold a person. They were accessed by climbing a ladder to the roof, and the tanks required lifting a heavy lid to open them. Santiago Lopez opened one of the lids. And there, inside the water tank, was the body of Elisa Lam. She was floating, unclothed, with some of her clothing floating alongside her. Hotel guests had been using that water for 19 days. The investigation and official autopsy findings, released in June 2013, ruled Elisa Lam's death as accidental drowning. Her death certificate noted that bipolar disorder was a significant contributing condition. Toxicology results showed the medications she was prescribed were found in her system, but at levels lower than therapeutic range. This means she may not have been taking her full dose, which can have serious effects on someone managing bipolar disorder. When bipolar patients stop or reduce their medication, they can experience severe manic episodes, psychosis, disorientation, and extreme behavioral changes. The behavior seen in the elevator footage is consistent with acute psychosis or a severe manic episode. But here's the question that investigators and the public could not stop asking. How did she get into the water tank? The tanks on the roof of the Cecil Hotel were not easy to access. To reach them, you had to exit through a door that was supposedly alarmed, meaning opening it should have triggered an alert. You then had to climb a ladder to reach the tanks. And the lids of the tanks were heavy, not impossible for one person to lift, but difficult. Investigators found no evidence of forced entry. No signs of struggle or foul play inside the tank. The door alarm situation was investigated, and it was determined that the alarms may not have been functioning properly, or may have simply not been noticed. The official conclusion: Elisa accessed the roof on her own, possibly during an acute mental health episode, climbed into the tank, perhaps not fully aware of the danger, and drowned. The lid, being heavy, may have partially closed on its own, or she may have pulled it. The questions that won't go away. Here is something important to understand. Asking hard questions about a case like this is not the same as inventing conspiracies. It is the mark of a thinking, critical mind. And there are hard questions here that have never been fully answered. First, the elevator behavior. The doors not closing when they should have. Some investigators noted that the hotel's elevator system had a hold function that could be activated with a key card, meaning someone with access to the system could have stopped the elevator remotely. Was this explored? Investigators said they found no evidence of third-party involvement. But the elevator system anomaly was never fully explained to the public. If the doors not closing was simply a malfunction, then why did they start working again the moment Elisa left? Second, the roof access. Multiple points of access to the roof existed in the Cecil Hotel, including fire escapes. The alarmed door may not have been the only route. And as we mentioned, the alarm may not have been operational. So while access was difficult, it was not necessarily impossible. Third, the water tank lids. The Los Angeles County Coroner has report noted that the lid to the tank Elisa was found in was closed when it was discovered. If she fell in accidentally, how did the lid close? If she climbed in during a disoriented episode, perhaps she pulled it. Perhaps it partially fell. These are documented possibilities, not definitive answers. Fourth, the video timing. Sharp-eyed viewers noted the elevator footage appeared to have been slowed down or edited in terms of time stop. The LAPD confirmed the video had been edited slightly to protect the privacy of other hotel guests who appeared on the original footage. This is documented and official, but naturally, it fed speculation. Does the official explanation satisfy you? Or do you, like millions of people around the world, feel that something still doesn't fully add up? The strange coincidence is now, I want to share something with you that is entirely factual and entirely strange. Around the same time as Elisa Lam's case, a tuberculosis outbreak occurred near the Cecil Hotel in the Skid Row area. Health officials deployed a tuberculosis test to help identify cases. The name of that tuberculosis test? Lisa. The test, formerly called the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, or ELISA, combined with the Lam antigen detection method, is a standard medical diagnostic. It has nothing to do with Elisa Lam, the person. It was named long before she was born. But the coincidence? The timing? The location? It sent the internet into an absolute frenzy. Is it just a coincidence? Almost certainly yes. But in a case already dripping with unease, is it any wonder people noticed? There's more. A death metal band called Morbid had previously filmed a music video inside the Cecil Hotel. And the vocalist had posed inside one of those very water tanks on the rooftop. The same tanks. The same hotel. Years before Elisa Lam. These are not invented facts. They are documented, verifiable, and genuinely strange. Elisa Lam's legacy in the years since her death. Elisa Lam has never faded from public consciousness. Her Tumblr blog was preserved online for years after her death, and people from around the world visited it, leaving comments, sharing her posts, grieving for someone they had never met. In 2021, Netflix released a 4-part documentary series titled Crime Scene. The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, which examined the case in depth, explored the hotel's dark history and gave voice to many people who knew or were affected by Elisa's story. The documentary also explored something important, the role of internet sleuths in the investigation. Self-appointed online investigators had publicly accused innocent people, including a YouTuber who had previously filmed videos in the hotel, of being responsible for Elisa's death. These accusations were baseless, destructive, and deeply damaging to real, innocent human beings. It is a sobering reminder that curiosity without responsibility can cause real harm. We all want answers. But at what point does the search for truth become an obsession that hurts the innocent? Elisa Lam's parents lost their daughter. She was someone's child, someone who loved books and travel and the world, someone who was managing a real illness and trying her best to live her life. Whatever truly happened inside the Cecil Hotel, she deserves to be remembered as more than a mystery. Outro: the Elisa Lam case remains officially closed. Accidental drowning. Bipolar disorder as a contributing factor. But questions linger. They always will. Why were the elevator doors behaving so strangely? How exactly did she access a locked rooftop during what appears to have been a severe mental health episode? And how did a lid that heavy end up closed over her? These questions don't have definitive answers. And maybe that's the hardest truth about the Elisa Lam case, that sometimes tragedy doesn't come with a neat explanation. Sometimes the darkest stories are the ones where reality itself is the most disturbing thing of all. What do you think happened? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know where your mind went after watching this. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you think, then do me one favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Dark Files family. Because we go places most people are afraid to look. Every week we crack open another file. Another case. Another mystery that the world tried to forget, but that we refuse to let go of. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. Leave a comment. Start the conversation, because the truth matters. And the files? They're never really closed.